is there some threshold of validators that actually doesn't benefit the chain anymore? More validators can currently have it better. It's a good question. Yeah, you want to take that?
Well, I mean, so Ethereum, so we bounce up like Ethereum, they have like over 500,000 validators, and they're concerned about their number of validators being like too many. But we have like 40,000. So we have like 10%, less than 10%, up for 700,000 now. Because I don't even know, it's like going up so fast I can't even keep track of it. So now they're concerned about the number of validators on Ethereum is too much. If all retail, right? I think people who know the channel understand what I mean by retail, run a validator, you're talking 200,000 validators. And that's like if every PLS that exists that is in retail hands were to run a validator, you're hitting like 200. That's not even anywhere close to where Ethereum is. So, I mean, if we had 100,000 or 150,000 validators, I mean, so the amount of money you make per validator goes down, but that's a lot of PLS off the market. That's a lot of demand. That's a lot of pressure, right? I mean, I like talking about price too much, but there's a lot of variables in there. You're like, well, let's cross that road when we reach it. But at this point, I'm not worried about it. I mean, we could easily go to 50, 60,000 validators, like more the merrier. Let's decentralize. I mean, the 50,000 validators, I hope, aren't in the same data center in AWS.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I hope they're all decentralized,
different regions, at least,
or businesses in like other VPS, right? Your span DigitalOcean, AWS, all the small mom and pop data centers in your house, right? I mean, run a validator computer with whatever amount. Run a validator, you know, in your wherever you can, right?
Yeah, I think another way to ask the question is, what is the number of validators that would be sufficiently decentralized? Like we would feel like, okay, we could take, you know, half the network could go down and things would still function correctly. Is that 100K, 200K? Is that like the sweet spot?
Okay, maybe? Well, this is a technical question. I can answer it. Say, okay, so for the chain to stop finalizing, meaning the epochs quit finalizing, you need to have more than 67% of the active validators in that committee online, right? So that means there can only be like 33% that are offline. Now, if you average that across the whole network, right, that's a huge amount of validators. So even right now, if one entity were to shut off, like mainnet isn't going offline because there's no single entity that owns that many validators. We have 44,000 validators. Of what I'm aware of, there's validators, there's people who have multiple servers that are in the thousands, a couple thousand, right? That I've talked to that seem to be doing a great job because they provably been doing a great job. Even if they were offline, the chain is still fine. They just lose money, which they are not in the habit of losing money. But even if the largest validator that I know of, and I may not know the largest one because I don't talk to everybody, were to go offline, mainnet would still finalize. They would just lose money. And then the average block time would decrease a little bit because if you have enough validators, then that means you're supposed to be producing a lot of blocks, and now you take a little bit of a hit. Now we've seen that before on mainnet. Like there have been validators that have quite a large number of validators. They've been offline for 3-4 hours, and then you end up having, like, instead of a 10-second block time, you end up having like a 12-second block time, right? On average. So, you know, it's fine.